Howdy, hi. It is Dear Job Sports WNBA picks and predictions for Thursday, July 31st, 2025. We are looking at the best bets of the day. Let's get into the video. All right, first things first, got to recap the previous day's results. On the day, we go 5-3, bringing our season record to 212 and 196. I realized in the last video I had put my daily record at 1-8, but I had not actually updated the season record. So now the season record is updated with the 1-8 in there from yesterday and the 5-3 now in there from today. So that is all squared away. I'm going to recap these games real quick, and then we'll get into the one game for tomorrow. Game number 1 today, it was the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury. Final score of this one, Fever 107, Phoenix Mercury 101. Holy Lord, 208 points scored in a regular game, no overtime, just 40 minutes of good old WNBA basketball. Phoenix Mercury, 49% from the field. Indiana Fever, 52% from the field, 46% from deep. They shot 38 free throws, making 32 of them. Indiana Fever biggest contributions, you had Ari McDonald drop 27, Aaliyah Boston drop 22, Cunningham with 12. You had Chloe Bibby off the bench with 10. You had Damiris Dantas off the bench with 12. Kelsey Mitchell didn't do anything this game. She played 21 minutes, only took 10 shot attempts. She had 8 points. Lexi Hall did nothing off the bench. But it really doesn't matter when two of your starters combine for 49 points and they go 20 of 23 from the free throw line. So shout out to the Fever for getting her done. Next winner, Liberty plus 7.5. This was all different levels of greasy. Final score here, Minnesota Lynx 100, New York Liberty 93. This was crazy high scoring. A decent amount of high scoring games. Every single game ended up going over. Liberty 49% from the field, Lynx 49% from the field. Neither team could shoot a free throw. Liberty 72%, Lynx 68%. The difference here was that the Lynx shot 48% from deep, 15 to 31. The Liberty only 10 of 28. Liberty did get good performances, however, from Sabrina. Johannes played okay. Jonquel Jones really didn't do much. He only took seven shot attempts. Then you had Stephanie Talbot off the bench go 1 of 6. That's not ideal. They did get a nice game from Izzy Harrison, though. That was nice to see. Granted, they did have Naira Sabli out. Bree didn't play. Kennedy Burke didn't play. But Harrison popped off. 7 to 10 off the bench. You will take that every time. So that was a nice backdoor cover by the Liberty. Then we had the over 166.5 in the Atlanta Dream Dallas Wings game. That one finished 88 to 85. Wings, it was more of a collective team effort as they had 5 players in double digits. Their leading scorer was Naz Hillman off the bench, dropping 21. Thank God I did not double down and take Brittany Griner points again. She only played 15 minutes, so that might be something to look for the rest of the season. If Atlanta does indeed have another doubleheader coming up, it would appear as though Brittany Griner is not going to play any reasonable minutes. And I just checked their schedule. They do not have another doubleheader for the rest of the year. So that is done. All right, then finally, we had 2 player props hit. It was Alyssa Thomas PRA over 30.5. She actually had a fantastic game. Probably her highest scoring game of the season. She dropped 32 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. Just ridiculous numbers to lose the game. But it's mostly because they didn't play any defense. So shout out to AT. That was what? 55 PRA. 55. That's ridiculous. Then we had Sabrina PRA over 30.5. She also had a fantastic game, dropping 31 points. You could have taken away the RA and they both would have hit. 31, 5, and 4. And I think she did that on 11 of 20 from the field, 3 of 8 from deep. And she only had 1 turnover. Normally, Sabrina's good for like 4 or 5 turnovers a game. But the Liberty actually did a really good job of holding on to the ball tonight. So, shout out them for covering and Sabrina for hitting her player prop. All right, now we'll talk about the losers. Mercury, minus 3.5. If you would have told me the Mercury were going to score 101 and they were only laying 3.5, I would have bet my entire life savings on it. Unfortunately, I'd be broke and homeless as they gave up 107 to the Fever. I mean, you're not going to win by 3.5 if you give up 107. Fever, 52% from the field. They shot 38 free throws. It is tough to do anything when you're giving up 107. We had the under 166.5. I thought this game would be slower paced than it actually was. This was a quick game. I thought the Lynx would slow it down, but that was not the case at all. 193 points scored in the Liberty and Lynx game. Then we had Dream minus 4.5. You could have actually hit this if you got the Dream at their closing line. They closed at minus 2.5. So I got a bad number. I'm assuming most people didn't get 2.5. But if you did, you could have gotten this. Atlanta hits not a buzzer beater 3, but there was like 2 seconds left when they hit the shot. They win the game 88-85. A bit of a comeback as they were trailing by 2 points going into the fourth quarter. But they get the win, just not the cover for me as I had 4.5. All right, that's the recap. Let's get on to the 1 game and 2 player props for tomorrow. All right, so we got the only game of the night. It is the Golden State Valkyries on the road in DC taking on the Mystics. I'm going to take the home team minus 2.5. I'm going to take the under 153.5. With how high the overs have been hitting, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I think we're going to see a low-scoring game here. The Valkyries have a ton of injuries. They're going to slow down the pace. The Mystics, I think they are the better team. Lineup-wise, they definitely are. But the Valkyries just managed to somehow win the game outright at Atlanta. So you really don't know with Natalie Nakase, because it turns out she is quite a good coach. Valkyries at 12-13 on the year. They just beat Atlanta by 2 on the road. This is their 3rd game of their East Coast swing. They started in Connecticut, then they went down to Atlanta. Now they're in DC. So this is their 3rd game in 5 days, all with travel. It might be starting to get to them here. They are without Monique Billings as she came back for the previous game in Atlanta. She played 8 minutes and then had to leave the court with an injury, so she has already been ruled out. Kayla Thornton is out for the season with a knee injury. She just got surgery on. And then Xanda Lacini, their guard from overseas that they, I think, recently acquired back from FIBA or whatever tournament that was. She is questionable for this game. She is a massive piece off the bench. She offers them size down low. She's averaging 10 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists. And in the previous game against Atlanta, she led the team in scoring with 18 off the bench. So if they don't have her, they are going to be very, very small down low going against Kiki Ariefen, Shakira Austin, and then if you want to put in Steph Dolson, technically she's still on the team. I mean, we're not going to talk about her. Mystics, 13-13 on the year. They just whooped this guy at home, 103-86. Prior to that, they've just kind of been flip-flopping wins and losses against good and bad teams. They've already played the Valkyries this year. They lost in a low-scoring, close game, 76-74 on the road in Golden State. They do have Aaliyah Edwards ruled out. Other than that, they're healthy. Lineup-wise, they're just a better team. You're giving me Brittany Sykes, Citron, Kiki, and Austin against whatever lineup Natalie's going to roll out. I just don't think it's going to be fair. Give me the Mystics and give me the under. 2 player props. I figured I'd go 1 from each team. If Xanda Lacini doesn't play, Tiffany Hayes should be able to shoot the ball 15 plus times, and her points is only 13.5. She should be able to shoot the ball whenever she wants. She's really the only pure bucket getter they have. You could argue maybe Veronica Burton, but I really don't even think she doesn't have the shot creating ability that Tiff does. Also, don't mind 2 plus 3-pointers made. It's plus 105 on FanDuel, and if you bump it up to 3 3-pointers, it is plus 400. So if you wanted a little bit of juice, you could take Tiffany Hayes over for her 3s as well. But I will just do the over 13.5 points. That is also plus money at plus 105. Then I'm going to go Sonia Citron, points and rebounds over 13.5. She's been playing really good. She's scoring at a super efficient rate. And I was looking through her games. Every once in a while, she will just grab a ridiculous amount of boards. 6 games this year, she has 8 plus rebounds. 3 of them are double digits. She has 2 games of 10 rebounds in 1 11-rebound game. That is absurd numbers. So give me Sonia, points and rebounds over 13 and a half. I'm going to double check that. There's no way that's correct. Hold on, I got to double check that number. Yes, that was a typo by me. I must have just immediately put 13 and a half because that's what my brain put for Tiffany. It is 17 and a half for Sonia Citron at points and rebounds. I knew 13 and a half was way too low. I still think 17 and a half is a great number. The only thing she has to do, put up 13 points, get 5 boards, and we're chilling. She hits her PR. So that's what we're going to roll with. That's it for me in this video. I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.